We didn't speak much after we got back. There was nothing left to say that hadn't already been screamed by the glass exploding around us. I curled up on the couch while Ryan paced the kitchen, hands in his hair, mumbling to himself like he was trying to reason with something that couldn't be reasoned with. The world outside had gone still again, and that made me more afraid than any gunshot. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was waiting. By nightfall, I couldn't stand it anymore. "I need to know the truth," I said. Ryan turned slowly. "About what?" "About everything. About you. About that night." He leaned against the counter and nodded slowly. "Okay." I stared into the fire as he sat across from me. The room smelled of wood smoke and tension. "You remember how it started," he said. "We weren't supposed to be alone that weekend. Dad was supposed to come up to the lake, but he canceled last minute. You and I were just here." I nodded. "You were different that weekend." "So were you." He looked down at his hands. "I think I knew then what I didn't want to admit. I wasn't just filling space in your life. I was part of it." "You were the only part that felt real," I whispered. He looked up. His eyes softened. "I wanted to stop it. I really did. But when you touched me that night, I didn't feel like a mistake." I closed my eyes, feeling the heat return to my cheeks. "I wasn't trying to seduce you. I know. It wasn't like that. We just fit." A tear slipped down my cheek. "And now we're being punished for it." He stood, walked toward me, and knelt down in front of the fireplace. His hands gently cupped mine. "We're not being punished," he said. "We're being warned. My father, he doesn't care about the rules. He only cares about control." I looked at him and finally let the question leave my lips. "Did he ever hurt you?" Ryan hesitated. "Not the way you think. But yes, quietly, emotionally. He made me feel small for most of my life. The only time I felt like I could breathe was when I was with you." The fire crackled, filling the room with soft light. I reached out and placed my hand on his chest. I could feel his heart, steady and strong. "Then we don't let him win." His lips parted as if to speak, but instead he leaned forward and kissed me. It wasn't desperate or hurried. It was slow and aching and filled with everything we had never said. I let myself melt into it because I didn't know if we'd have tomorrow. In that moment, we were just two people holding on to the last bit of warmth before the cold returned. When we pulled apart, I whispered against his lips, "Touch me like you did last night." His eyes, closed like those words, cracked him wide open. And for the rest of that night, we held on to each other like the storm was already inside the house, tearing everything apart. The next morning, there was a package on the porch. No return address. Inside was a flash drive. Ryan plugged it into his laptop while I stood behind him, heart pounding. The screen flickered and loaded a single video file. We clicked it. Surveillance footage. Of the lake house. Of us. Of the night before. I saw myself through someone else's eyes. Every movement, every glance, the kiss in front of the fire. The sound was off, but it didn't need it. The image spoke volumes. Ryan closed the laptop and ran a hand through his hair. "It's not just a threat anymore. This is blackmail." My throat tightened. "How long has he been recording us?" "I don't know, but he wanted us to see it, to be afraid." I stepped back, shaking my head. "We can't live like this. We can't keep running." Ryan nodded, but his eyes were distant. "I think I know where he's hiding." He drove us back toward the woods on the north end of the lake to a small hunting cabin that had been in his family for generations. It hadn't been used in years. The windows were dark, the trail grown over. But the door wasn't locked. Ryan pushed it open slowly. Inside, dust clung to everything except the chair by the window and a small desk littered with cigarette butts and torn pages. There were photos pinned to the wall. Notes, maps, schedules. It was a shrine. To us. My heart slammed in my chest as I stepped closer. On one page, he had written the same line over and over again. She was mine first. Ryan stared at the words like he'd been punched. He thinks you belong to him. I backed away, bile rising in my throat. He's sick. Then Ryan found the final note, taped under the desk. One sentence written in bold ink. The next time I see you together, I won't miss. We left the cabin immediately and called the police. That was the beginning of the end. The investigation revealed what we feared. Daniel had been monitoring the property for over a year. He had hidden cameras placed inside and out. He'd hired a private investigator and had been tracking my movements, Ryan's phone, everything. But after that last threat, he disappeared. Gone. Vanished like a ghost. There were no charges to file. No clear evidence he had fired the weapon. Only circumstantial fear and the obsession left behind. They took it seriously, but we knew better. He was out there, waiting. It's been 6 months now. Ryan and I moved away from the lake house. We're rebuilding, slowly. The trauma hasn't faded, not completely. Some nights, I still wake up in a cold sweat. Some nights, I hear the whisper, "Touch me like you did last night." But when I turn in bed, Ryan's there, his arm around me, and I know we're not alone anymore. Our love wasn't born from comfort or timing. It came from fire, from crossing boundaries, from whispers that were never supposed to be spoken. But it's ours. And if he ever comes back, if that ghost decides to finish what he started, we won't be afraid. Not this time. Because we've already survived the storm.